As death and despair rain down on Gaza, tense and difficult negotiations have continued at the UN Security Council to break the deadlock in hopes that a resolution on the Israel-Gaza war can be passed after a series of failed efforts over the past month. Amid the stalemate, the Israeli forces have made further gains as hospitals in Gaza have been surrounded, crippling the already struggling health system. Good morning, I'm Praram Adahal. Let's begin with the main stories. It is the second day of the ongoing Tihar festival today. Kukur Tihar and Lakshmi Puja being observed, Kathmandu Metropolis allocates 4 places for sales of Nepali flowers. Government to provide 50,000 rupees to each earthquake-affected family. More than 11,000 victims still deprived of relief materials like tents, risks of epidemic rises. At least 2 premature babies die, while 37 are at severe risk as Israeli tanks surround Gaza's Al-Shifa hospital, attacking any person moving within the hospital compound. And the semi-final equation of the ICC World Cup set, India, South Africa, Australia and New Zealand in the last 4. India play the Netherlands in the last match of the group stage today. It is the second day of Yama Panchak Kukur Tihar today. As per the Hindu calendar, Kukur Tihar is being observed this morning. As Narak Chaturdasi, Kukur Tihar and Lakshmi Puja all have fallen on the same day today, Lakshmi Puja will be observed in the evening. Meanwhile, dogs are worshipped and fed delicacies in the morning. Considered the best friends of human beings, dogs are also taken as loyal creatures and good for security. Tihar festival is observed for 5 days from Kartik Krishna Trayodasi to Shukla Dvitiya. Vaitika is on Wednesday, the 15th of November. Lakshmi Puja is also being observed today. Now, Lakshmi Puja, the festival observed by worshipping goddess of wealth Lakshmi, is to be observed throughout this evening. Devotees have been preparing for Lakshmi Puja since early morning as well. It is believed that goddess Lakshmi does not reside in houses with poor sanitation, and therefore she is invited by ensuring sanitation. The night of Lakshmi Puja is also called Shukharatri. Voilo, a musical program, is also played on the evening of Lakshmi Puja. Meanwhile, the birth anniversary of Mahakavi or the great poet Lakshmi Prasad Devkota is also being celebrated today. The Kathmandu Metropolis has allocated 4 places in the capital for the sale of Nepali flowers during Tihar festival with the intention of promoting production. This includes sales points in Brikudi Mondap, Tinkune, Harigao and Balaju. In previous years, majority of the flowers found in the Nepali market were imported from India. However, this year the Nepali flowers will meet at least 80% of the domestic demand. The sales of flowers during the ongoing Tihar is expected to cross 300 million rupees. And now we have some updates from the Jazarkot earthquake. Many victims of earthquake in Jazarkot have not received tents, although it has already been 9 days since the earthquake hit the district. According to government data, only 23,429 tents have been distributed to the victims in Jazarkot. The National Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Authority says 9,794 houses have been completely destroyed in Jazarkot, while another 24,707 houses are in inhabitable condition. 2,653 tents have been distributed in Kushe Rural Municipality that has a population of 23,500. Entire settlements have been destroyed in the municipality. Local government data, in fact, government data shows that only 939 tents have been distributed in Cheragad municipality. The victims of Jazarkot earthquake have started falling sick because of cold, as all the houses in the neighborhood have been destroyed while there are no public buildings nearby. The government has distributed a total of 23,000 tents in the district and has distributed only 6,700 sacks of rice. Majority of the victims have been reeling under food scarcity. Likewise, 17,000 blankets and 2,200 cotton-filled quilts have been distributed to the victims. Victims have complained that the relief materials that have reached the district with the efforts of private organization are also being distributed based on access to power. The earthquake that had struck Jazarkot with its epicenter in Ramidana on 3rd of November earlier this month has displaced 9,186 households in the district and 9,468 in Rukum West. The victims, who had been compelled to spend the chilly nights under the open sky, had breathed some respite after receiving tents as their temporary shelter. However, the tents have become insufficient amid the dip in mercury because of the rainfall yesterday. Health issues have started being reported mainly in children and senior citizens. The earthquake victims of Jajarkot and Rukum West that have been compelled to take shelter under tents have started reporting various health-related issues. The increasing cold and lack of proper diet and safe drinking water have added to their plight. Senior citizens, women, children and patients of chronic diseases are prone to such health issues. Some victims have yet to receive tents as well. It is uncertain when the process for safe settlement of the victims will begin. The number of earthquake victims flocking to health institutions reporting diarrhea, flu and fever has increased significantly. The number of victims reporting health issues can further increase in the future with the rise in cold temperature and lack of proper food and care. Health professionals have suggested the earthquake victims to remain alert and immediately reach health institutions if their health deteriorates. The local government has failed to ensure effective management of relief, while they have also ignored the possibility of arranging temporary settlement for the victims by utilizing the local resources. There is a general call on the concerned authorities to ensure proper settlement of the earthquake victims to prevent rise in major health issues among them. The Ministry of Health and Population has informed that there is risk of epidemic of diarrheal diseases among others in the earthquake-affected areas. The ministry has said there is risk of epidemic diseases in the earthquake-affected areas because of lack of clean drinking water, lack of toilets, unhygienic food and weather conditions. Health workers deployed in the earthquake-affected areas from the center and provinces have informed the ministry about the possible risks. The Health Ministry has informed it has already managed awareness programs and empowered district and municipal hospitals to manage treatments. The government is to begin the process for construction of temporary houses for the victims of Jajarkot earthquake and is preparing to provide 50,000 rupees for each of the affected families. This comes after dire calls from the victims who are struggling under open skies in cold nights. The government is prepared for the tender process to hire a contractor to construct the temporary houses. Finance Minister Prakash Sharan Mahath has said the government will construct a temporary structure with CGI sheets. The government is also preparing to send the victims warm clothes. Based on the government's preliminary estimates, the November 3rd earthquake that struck Jajarkot's Ramidata has damaged properties worth over 70 billion rupees. Reconstruction works will begin once a complete assessment of losses is done. Minister Mahath has said the government will call on foreign donor agencies to support the construction works, adding that around 90% of the houses in Jajarkot and Rukum are unlivable because of the earthquake. The parliamentary committee, which returned after taking stock of the earthquake-hit areas in Jajarkot and Rukum, has directed the government to conduct an efficient relief program for the families of the victims. The team led by the State Affairs and Good Governance Committee Chairperson Ramhari Khatiwada met with the Prime Minister and directed for ensuring an efficient relief program. Furnishing a report to the Prime Minister and the Speaker of the House of Representatives, the team called for immediate relief for the victims in the rural areas. The committee has also directed not to politicize relief distribution and drawn the attention of the Prime Minister for conducting or concluding works related to temporary shelter at the earliest, providing financial assistance to the family members of those deceased and ensuring regular health services at the disaster-hit area. The committee has said that challenges had surfaced in relief distribution because of lapses in collaboration between the three tiers of the government. It has also urged the government to formulate a central long-term plan for reconstruction. In our Public Voice segment, we have asked in several provinces regarding the ways to ensure effective distribution of relief to all the earthquake victims. Let us now take a look at what they had to say.
निश्चित खालका मापदण्ड बनाएर प्रभावितहरूलाई राहतहरू वितरण गर्दा चाहिँ सबैले पाउनुपर्ने हिसाबले चाहिँ राहतहरू पाउन सक्थ्यो।
स्थानीय तहले जिम्मेवारी जवाफदेहीका साथ एकद्वार प्रणाली अवलम्बन गराउनुपर्छ।
जसले पाए त्यसले राहत वितरण गर्नु भएन।
स्थानीय सरकार र स्थानीय प्रशासनले जिम्मा लिनु पर्यो।
एकद्वार प्रणालीबाट एकत्रित भएर वितरण गर्यो भने चाहिँ सम्बन्धित व्यक्तिहरुमा पुग्छ कि जस्तो लाग्छ। राहत
स्वच्छ छवि भएको युवाहरुको टिम बनाएर उनीहरुलाई जिम्मा दिएर यो डाटा साटा लिन जरुरी छैन। जो पीडित छ, जो एकदम धेरै पीडित छ, उलाई चाहिँ सबभन्दा पहिले सर्भिस पाउनु पर्यो।
नेताहरुले पीडितकै घरमा गएर राहत वितरणहरू गर्नु पर्यो
राहत एकद्वार प्रणालीदेखि वितरण गर्नु पर्यो
जसको पहुँच छ उनीहरूले सेवा सुविधा पाएको देखिन्छ र जति पनि असली पीडितहरू छन् तिनीहरूलाई सही तरिकाले समान वितरण गर्नुपर्छ
भूकम्प पीडित सबैलाई कुनै पक्षपात कुनै हिसाबले नभएर दुखी पीडित सबैले पाउनुपर्छ
टिकटक बनाउनका निम्ति भाइरल हुनका निम्ति पछिको राजनीति साध्नका निम्ति भन्दा पनि व्यवहारिक दृष्टिकोणले जनतासँग पुर्याउने गरी जानुपर्ने हो
It is now time for our segment Public Pulse, where you text us with your opinion. The question is, what is your take on adding new airports while facing difficulties in managing airports that are in operation? Your options are A, politics for votes, B, effect of pressure, and C, need of airports. The voting is on. Type NEWS, select your option A, B or C, and send it to 34001 to share your opinion with us. Time now for the international news. The World Health Organization (WHO) has said it has lost communication with contacts inside Al-Shifa, the largest hospital in Gaza. Israeli tanks have surrounded Gaza's Al-Shifa hospital, and the hospital's director has said any person moving within the hospital compound is being attacked by Israeli snipers, an accusation the Israeli military has denied. The World Health Organization has said that there are reports that some people who had fled Gaza's Al-Shifa hospital have been shot at, wounded, and even killed. In response to this latest development, the United Nations has issued a reminder to Israel that hospitals are explicitly entitled to specific protection under international law. Electricity has run out inside Al-Shifa, with at least 2 premature babies dying. At least 11,078 Palestinians have been killed in Israeli attacks on Gaza since the 7th of October. The Israeli military has said it is working with Al-Shifa hospital to evacuate patients. However, the hospital director, speaking with international media, denied that Israeli military had offered to help move at-risk babies despite his attempts to arrange an evacuation. Elsewhere in Al-Quds Hospital, the Palestinian Red Crescent Society has said infants are facing dehydration because of shortage of breast milk alternatives. More than 600 patients needing medical care have been trapped in the besieged hospital. Doctors Without Borders has warned Gaza hospitals will turn into morgues if actions are not taken immediately. Meanwhile, tense and difficult negotiations continue at the UN Security Council in an effort to break the deadlock in the world's most powerful decision-making authority as death and despair rain down on Gaza. Malta has circulated a new draft resolution focusing on Gaza's children, hoping to finally pass one after a series of failed efforts over the past month. Now, large marches calling for immediate ceasefire in Gaza were held in cities around the world, including New York, Paris, Baghdad, Karachi, Berlin and Edinburgh. More than 300,000 pro-Palestinian protesters marched through the central London, calling for a ceasefire now in the Gaza Strip in the largest rally to date. Protesters set off green and red flags, waved Palestinian flags and demanded occupation no more, while a group of Jewish pro-Palestinian protesters held placards reading "Not in our name."
What's happening is an atrocity, and I think any way that it's tried to paint in another way is terrifying, and we shouldn't be standing for it. And I think it's really important that this many people have come out today to show that we're not standing down, and a ceasefire needs to happen, and we won't rest until that happens.
Ministers had called for the cancellation of the march, with Interior Minister Suella Braverman saying protesters were hate marchers.
This is a peaceful protest. The irony is this protest is supposed to be to stop fighting, stop bloodshed, stop apartheid. So it's completely ironic that it was being called a hate march.
Since Hamas's assault in southern Israel on the 7th of October, there has been strong support and sympathy for Israel from the Western governments, including Britain's and many citizens. But the Israeli military response has also prompted anger, with weekly protests in London demanding a ceasefire. Earlier today, thousands of people in Melbourne in Australia took to the streets calling for ceasefire in Gaza and the release of Hamas's captives. This is all for the moment. Our next English bulletin airs at 6 p.m. Thank you for staying with us. Have a beautiful day ahead.